Welcome, warriors, shadows of silence, survivors of betrayal and the unspoken war. I see you. I speak to the fire in you, not the polite one, not the tame flicker that fits into other people's expectations. I speak to the blaze you've been hiding behind those tired eyes, the inferno beneath your calm demeanor. You didn't come here to be validated. You came to hear truth. You came to be reminded of the storm you carry, the war they hoped you'd never wake up for. But here you are, standing, breathing, watching, and still silent. That silence, they feared it, that quiet. It's never been weakness. It's been the sound of calculation. It's the sound of you waiting for the moment, not to react, but to conquer. They hate you because you knew their dirty game all along, but played dumb. You heard the whispers when they thought you were out of earshot. You saw the glances they exchanged behind your back, the smiles that never touched their eyes, the plans they made with knives in their hands while calling you family, friend, partner. You knew, and you smiled anyway. You listened when they lied. You let them think they were outsmarting you, because you understood something they never will. Power isn't loud. Power is patience. Power is pretending to be the fool in a room full of snakes, knowing you're the one holding the antidote. They thought you were weak because you didn't expose them. They mistook your silence for surrender, but they never saw the journal full of secrets you kept. They didn't know the nights you lay awake, not broken, but building. They didn't feel the coldness growing inside of you every time they smiled in your face while plotting your downfall. They didn't know that every betrayal was a lesson, every backstab a blueprint, every lie another brick in the empire of rage you were silently constructing. They laughed at you, mocked your kindness, danced on the grave they dug for your name, and still you smiled. Still you watched. Still you waited. You knew the game. Hell, you mastered it, but you never showed your hand. That's what eats them alive. That's what shakes them when they lay down at night. That's what twists their stomachs when they see you standing tall, unbothered, unburned, better than ever. Because you were supposed to fall. You were supposed to break. You were supposed to be the joke at their table forever. But instead, you're the ghost they can't kill. The storm they thought was over. You're the silence they underestimated. The calm before a vengeance they never saw coming. You were the student in the classroom of betrayal, and they were your teachers. But now the lesson is over. Now you are the test, and they will fail. You are the final chapter of a book they thought they wrote, but you picked up the pen the moment they dropped it in arrogance. And now every word, every line, every brutal truth, they're yours to write. The dumb one is done playing. They see it now. The shift, the cold in your eyes that wasn't there before. The way you no longer seek their approval. The way you move without asking. The way you no longer laugh at their jokes, no longer carry their weight, no longer make excuses for their poison. That unnerves them, because when the quiet ones go quiet, it's nothing. But when the quiet ones go cold, that's war. And you didn't just go cold. You turned into steel. They can't bend you. They can't guilt you. They can't touch you. They call you heartless now. That's fine. They should. Because the heart they abused is no longer available for their comfort. The love they betrayed is now locked away. The trust they shattered has become your armor, and it suits you. It makes them nervous. It makes them desperate. Because now, you don't need their lies. You don't need their games. You've outgrown the whole arena. You're not here to play anymore. You're here to rule. They taught you how to crawl, thinking you'd never walk. And now you fly above their heads, and they can't breathe the air where you live. Remember this, you never had to expose them. Your existence is the exposure. Your success is the spotlight. Your peace is their punishment. You didn't fight them. You evolved past them. And that, right there, is the cruelty they never expected. They trained for a battlefield, not a battlefield you outgrew. They sharpened swords, and you became bulletproof. But don't get comfortable. The same silence that protected you once will challenge you now, because they will come again, with different masks, different strategies, smarter lies, sharper venom. Because people like that, they don't quit, they don't evolve, they only circle back, hoping your guard drops. But this time, you're no longer blind, you're no longer numb. You see through the cracks in every handshake. You feel the lies before they're spoken. You move differently, and more importantly, you remember. And your memory is what they fear most, not because it holds pain, but because it holds proof. Proof of what you overcame without them ever lifting a finger to help. They erase their own names from your story with every betrayal. And now they want back in. Now they want peace. Now they speak of loyalty. Let them choke on it. You don't owe them forgiveness. You don't owe them a second chance. Forgiveness is not owed. Trust is not inherited. Respect is not begged for. You earned your strength in silence. You built your soul in the rubble of fake love and deceit. You bled quietly, stitched your own wounds, and walked out smiling. That kind of survival, it can't be bought, it can't be taught, and it damn sure can't be faked. Let them talk. Let them twist your name. Let them call you changed. Because you are. You changed into the version of yourself that doesn't apologize for seeing the truth. The version that no longer waits for someone else's approval to rise. The version that stares fire in the face and walks right through it because you've been burned before and it didn't kill you. It baptized you. And that, right there, is the point they missed. They thought pain would end you, but pain built you. They thought betrayal would weaken you, but betrayal carved your armor. They thought their dirty little games would confuse you, but you were always 5 steps ahead, smiling like a fool, playing dumb, while studying every move they made. That's not weakness, that's warfare. You didn't survive to stay quiet. You didn't come this far to play nice. You've bled for your peace. You've wept for your strength. You've buried versions of yourself that begged for crumbs. And now, you dine alone, full, unapologetic, unafraid. So hear me now. Never regret playing dumb. It wasn't surrender. It was strategy. It wasn't stupidity. It was surveillance. You played the fool so you could expose the real clowns. And now that the mask is off, don't flinch, don't blink, don't look back. Burn the bridge, leave the ashes. Let them stew in the silence they once misunderstood. Because the dumb one, the quiet one, the nice one, they're gone. And you're just getting started. You see, the most dangerous thing you ever did wasn't fighting back. It wasn't standing up. It wasn't yelling in their face. The most dangerous thing you ever did was sit there, calm, quiet, watching, knowing, memorizing their patterns, smiling at their fake laughs, laughing at their fake loyalty, giving them the illusion that you were blind, deaf, clueless, letting them think they were manipulating you, letting them think they were winning, because you understood something they never could. You knew the end game wasn't theirs to write. It never was. They just didn't realize they were characters in your story, temporary roles, speaking parts in your survival tale. And when their time was done, when their script ran dry, you didn't argue, you didn't beg, you didn't explain. You simply walked away. And that silence, that walk away, that's what killed them, because they were ready for a fight. They were ready for a breakdown. They were ready to see you fall apart, defend yourself, expose yourself, scream your innocence to the skies. But you didn't give them a show. You gave them silence. And that was your most brutal move. Because now, all they have are the lies they told about you. And all you have is peace. You see, they don't fear exposure. They fear being irrelevant. And nothing makes someone more irrelevant than when the one they tried to destroy refuses to acknowledge they ever existed. That's the power you carry now. That's the weapon forged in your restraint. You don't need revenge. You don't need chaos. You are the storm. Your peace is terrifying. Your success is suffocating. Your indifference is the coffin they buried themselves in. And yet, look around. Look at how they watch you now. Look how they whisper, still, not with arrogance, but with fear, because you knew. You always knew. And now they know. You knew. The jig is up. The game's exposed. The players are revealed. And the fool was never you. The fool was them, for thinking you didn't see the strings, the masks, the betrayal hiding behind sugar-coated words and fake concern. They thought your silence meant approval. It meant judgment. They thought your kindness was naivety. It was surveillance. You were never the fool. You were the architect of their downfall. And they hate you for it. They hate you because you didn't fall into the trap. They hate you because you didn't explode, didn't self-destruct, didn't fight their fire with fire. You drowned it with strategy, with evolution, with power they couldn't predict. You became what they never saw coming. A ghost of the past who rose as a giant in the present, untouchable, unreachable, unforgiving. They fed you venom and you turned it into fuel. They tried to bury you in lies and you built a kingdom from the dirt. Now you walk differently. You speak differently. You don't explain anymore. You don't justify. You don't plead for space at tables built on manipulation and ego. You bring your own table. Hell, you burn the table. You are the table now, and they don't have a seat. They're not even in the room. Let it burn. Let the bridges fall into ash. Let the past become a monument to your rise, not a chain to your old wounds. You were never meant to stay broken. You were never meant to sit quietly while they rewrote your story with dirty hands and guilty smiles. No, you let them think. You were outplayed while you were memorizing the whole board. Now, you own it. And hear this loud and clear. You never need to prove anything to anyone. Not your pain, not your worth, not your intelligence. They saw the truth and pretended it wasn't there. That's on them. They made you the enemy in stories they twisted to protect their fragile egos. That's on them. They betrayed you and still expected access to the healed version of you. That's on them. They dug a hole hoping you'd fall in, but you flew. That's not just survival, that's evolution. And evolution doesn't apologize. They hate that you changed. They hate that you outgrew the mask they fit you into. They hate that you became unrecognizable, not because you lost yourself, but because you found yourself. You stopped begging to be understood. You stopped pleading for fairness. You stopped caring about being the bigger person. Now you're just the person, the whole one, the one with scars as armor and silence as strategy. You don't fight battles beneath you. You don't water dead things. You don't light yourself on fire to keep others warm. Let them talk. Let them lie. Let them spiral in the stories they told about you, because every word they speak now is a confession, a scream, a cry for relevance in a world that moved on without them. And you don't look back. You don't explain. You don't offer closure to those who shattered you. You became your own closure. You became your own truth. Remember this. They hate you because you made it. Because you smiled anyway. Because you stayed kind, sharp, unbroken. Because you learned the game, played it better, and walked away with your soul intact. You beat them without lifting a hand. You won without war. You destroyed them with dignity. And still, they will try. They will circle back, disguised in new smiles, new voices, new apologies. But your vision now cuts through illusion. You don't need to call them out. You don't need revenge. You just need distance. You just need focus. You just need to remember who you are now, what you've built, what it cost you, and why you will never go back. You were never dumb. You were deadly, the kind of deadly that waits, watches, learns, smiles. They played dirty. You played dumb. But now, you play for keeps, and you will not lose. You know what really breaks them? What really crawls under their skin and stays there like a ghost in their bones? It's not that you knew the truth. It's not even that you survived it. It's that you smiled while bleeding. It's that you stayed soft while surrounded by poison. It's that you saw every betrayal, every twisted grin, every false embrace, and still showed up with grace they could never match. You were always stronger than them, and that terrifies them, because strength like yours, it can't be faked, it can't be mimicked, it can't be borrowed. It's earned, in silence, in pain, in nights where you cried alone and still woke up standing. They hate you for becoming everything they tried to destroy. They hate that your spirit didn't break where theirs did. That while they played games, you built an empire. That while they whispered lies, you forged identity. That while they chased clout, you chased purpose. They see you now, moving different, speaking less, glowing in the aftermath of their sabotage, and the truth burns them alive. You were the one all along, the one they thought they could control, manipulate, bend, dim. But you don't bend, you don't fold. You broke and rebuilt yourself in the dark, where no one clapped, no one helped, no one saw. And now they see you, and they can't look away. But don't forget what it took to get here. Don't forget the silence that nearly crushed you. Don't forget the apologies that never came, the gaslighting, the character assassinations, the blame, the guilt, the betrayal wrapped in kindness, the people who hugged you while hoping you would collapse, the fake love that felt like home until you realized you were sleeping in a cage. Don't forget who stayed silent while you drowned, who watched you fall and said nothing, who called your pain drama, who called your boundaries attitude, who called your growth arrogance. Remember them, not to seek revenge, but to never go back. Because now, you walk with different eyes. You move like someone who has nothing to prove, nothing to beg for, and everything to protect. You don't chase validation. You are validation. You don't need closure. You are the closure. And those who played with you like a pawn are choking on the realization that the quiet one was always the queen. And queens don't explain. Kings don't justify. Legends don't kneel. Let them think you're cold now. Let them accuse you of being heartless. They weren't complaining when they feasted on your kindness. They weren't concerned about your heart when they stabbed it. And now that you've learned to stop bleeding for people who never intended to heal with you, they call you distant? No, you're not distant. You're healed. And healing makes you silent. It makes you sharp. It makes you careful, not bitter, just done. And when you're done, really done, there's no comeback for them, no version of you they can guilt, manipulate, or pull back into the pit. You don't fight fire with fire. You let them burn alone. You let them dance in their own ashes while you build in silence. Now they watch your success and call it luck. They see your glow and say you've changed, but they never acknowledge the price. They don't speak of the nights you nearly gave up, the days you smiled through tears, the mornings you got up when everything in your chest screamed to stay down. They don't talk about the loyalty you gave to people who turned their backs the moment the lights dimmed. They don't remember that you were the one who always showed up, even when you were dying inside. Let them pretend. Let them rewrite history. Let them choke on their delusions, because the truth lives in your glow, in your silence, in your smile that no longer seeks their permission. You were the underestimated one. You were the one they thought they broke. You were the easy target, not anymore. Now you are the consequence, the lesson, the turning point in their story they'll never outrun. They called you fake when you stopped shrinking. They called you difficult when you started saying no. They called you dramatic when you asked for respect. And now, they call you distant because your peace no longer includes them. Good. Stay distant, stay healed, stay untouchable. Because what they never understood, and what they never will, is that you saw everything. You saw the betrayal before it happened. You heard the whispers behind your back. You knew the moment their love turned performative. You knew, and you played dumb, because you were studying, you were measuring, you were planning your exit not with drama, but with precision. And when you left quietly, completely, finally. And that's what haunts them. Not the scream, not the fight, not the storm, the silence. Because silence like that means it's over. It means they can't come back. It means the door is not just closed, it's gone. And you're building in places they can't reach, becoming someone they'll never deserve, living a life they'll only see through the cracks of their mistakes. That's your revenge. That's your victory. Not petty, powerful, not loud, unshakable. And now, they hate that you knew. They hate that you watched it all. They hate that you smiled, nodded, and walked away, knowing everything. But most of all, they hate that you're still standing, still glowing, still rising, still you. And they are still playing games you outgrew,